At the time of me making this video, we've already covered a wide variety of Mario Kart games. We've taken a look at the classics, Super Mario Kart, Mario Kart 64, and Mario Kart Super Circuit. We've seen Mario Kart Double Dash and Mario Kart DS, where the modern games got started, and even though I still love those games, it's time to get serious. It's time to look at what is easily my favorite Mario Kart game of all time,
Mario Kart Wii! Woohoo!
Words cannot describe how much nostalgia I have for this game. It was the very first Mario Kart game, and very first Mario game in general I ever played. Everything from the presentation, to the music, to the tracks resonates with me perfectly. This game means so much to me, so you can imagine my excitement when I finally got to play through it again. You know how this works by now. I'm going to rank every track in this game from worst to best, as well as cover the battle tracks in a separate section. So without further ado, let's go! 32. Shy Guy Beach. If I could visit a beach in real life, it definitely wouldn't be this one. The visuals are incredibly basic, the road is completely flat, and the obstacles such as the sidesteppers and cannonballs don't really do anything to spice up the course. I guess the added ramps to trick off are kinda cool, but other than that, this track doesn't do anything special. 31. Mario Circuit 3. You may be surprised that this is above Shy Guy Beach. Once again, the road is completely flat, and the visuals are even more bland than Shy Guy Beach, but I can at least appreciate the number of crazy turns and drifts you need to make, so I find this track slightly more fun. 30. Luigi Circuit. You know I love Luigi like no other, but seeing as this is the very first track in the game, it shouldn't be a surprise this is so low on the list. I like all the Luigi memorabilia, and the dash panels near the end are a nice touch, but that's literally all Luigi Circuit has to offer. 29. Yoshi Falls. Yes, out of all the tracks they could have brought back from Mario Kart DS, they went with a circle with a Yoshi egg in the middle. I guess the whole waterfall mechanic is kinda cool, and I like how half the road is at an angle, but that's about all you get for variety. 28. Ghost Valley 2. The whole spooky atmosphere is nailed perfectly. The visuals and the creepy music are very unsettling, and there's even a few neat track elements like the walls falling down if you run into them. If the track wasn't completely flat like the original, it totally would have been placed higher on the list. 27. Sherbet Land. Since you're driving on a massive glacier, the road is very slippery, and there's a bunch of baby penguins sliding around. There's even this giant cave in the middle with more penguins and dash panels to gain speed. Racing here isn't nearly as annoying as it was on the N64, thankfully, but there's just something about this track that makes it feel very empty and unsatisfying. 26. Mario Raceway. I mean, what do you want me to say? This is one of the most generic tracks in the Mario Kart series. It's not bad or anything, and I like how it's a bit longer than most N64 tracks, but I literally have nothing interesting to say about it. It just kind of exists. 25. Moo Moo Meadows. It's like Moo Moo Farm from the N64, but even better. You've got cows and Monty Moles roaming around, there's a couple ramps scattered about to perform tricks, and the visuals combined with the music give off the whole farm vibe perfectly. 24. Desert Hills. Desert levels have never been my cup of tea, but I do like how wavy this track gets with its hilly environment. There's also some pokies hanging around, and the angry sun from Super Mario Bros. 3 shows up and spits fire snakes on the road that'll hop all over the place. 23. Mario Circuit. I absolutely love how vibrant this course is, from the colors to the music, and you've got some cool details like Peach's castle in the background. However, the track itself isn't that special. It only has a few Goombas and a chain chomp as obstacles. There's also this ramp you can take if you have a mushroom, but it's really not that much faster than the normal route. 22. GameCube Mario Circuit. Honestly, this and the last Mario Circuit are so similar that it's really up to personal preference. I prefer this version a bit more just because it has a more interesting design, and there's a couple more unique track elements like some piranha plants and some hills you can trick off. 21. Peach Beach. If I could visit a beach in real life, I might go to this one. You get to drive through Delfino Plaza from Sunshine, you get to drive on the beach itself with the water rising up and down, and you've even got some cataquacks that absolutely ruin your day if you touch them. I also love how you can see Daisy Cruiser from Double Dash in the background. That's such a great detail. 20. DK's Jungle Parkway. This track kind of reminds me of Donkey Kong 64. Yeah, does anyone remember that game? Anyways, you go through a pretty basic jungle with a very wavy layout. You've got the river in the middle with a cruise ship sailing by, and I've always loved this part where you go over the bridge and enter a massive torchlit cave. It just looks cool. This track doesn't really do anything mind-blowing, but it's just pleasant to race through. 19. Bowser Castle 3. By far my favorite Bowser Castle from Super Circuit. I love the blue color palette with the lightning in the background. The turns can be crazy sharp, and the stage hazards like thwomps, fireballs, and pits of lava add some much needed spice to an otherwise okay track. 18. Peach Gardens. We get it, Peach, you're rich. Can you please stop showing off like this? You drive through a massive garden, so expect to see lots of flowers and greenery. You can even see a giant grass statue of Mario, which is kinda cool. However, don't get too comfortable, as Peach also has giant chain chomps and Monimoles roaming around for security, so make sure to keep an eye out for those. 17. Daisy Circuit. It's kinda cool that Daisy, of all characters, got a circuit track dedicated to her. It's a pretty simple course in the middle of the town, but there's a couple shortcuts hidden throughout, and the orange aesthetic gives off this feeling of happiness. Goes perfectly with this awesome statue of Luigi and Daisy dancing, am I right? 16. Mushroom Gorge. Being the guy known for eating mushrooms, it shouldn't be a surprise Mario has a track themed all around them, and these mushrooms are a ton of fun to bounce off. They give you so much height and a decent burst of speed when you land, but you have to be careful when bouncing off them, since if you jump at the wrong angle, you'll be sent falling into the abyss below, so make sure not to do that. 15. Dry Ruins. They finally did it. They made a desert level that's actually fun, and not just fun, but really fun. You've got pillars falling down that you can trick off, a giant temple with half pipes and a large bowl of sand that fills up as you race, and when you come shooting out the end, you see a massive Yoshi Sphinx in the background. That, combined with everything I just said, makes this one of the best desert levels in any Mario game. 14. Delfino Square. The other tracks in this game that came from DS weren't anything special, so I'm glad we got one great track from that game. You cruise through a small town based on Delfino Plaza. You've got a couple splitting paths, a small marketplace near the middle, and of course, you've got this giant splitting bridge that'll speed you up or let you trick high in the air. In actuality, there's nothing that incredible about Delfino Square, but I just get so much joy from racing here. 13. N64 Bowser's Castle. What I love so much about this version of Bowser Castle is that it feels legitimately threatening. The tone, the atmosphere, the chilling music, it all combines into something that's actually kinda scary. The track itself is also solid with some tight turns, some unusually aggressive thwomps, and lava that shoots up into the air. There's not much more to say, it's just a really solid Bowser Castle track. 12. Grumble Volcano. If you could turn hell into a racetrack, I'd imagine it would look something like this. You zoom through an active volcano, so there's tons of lava pits to weave around and fiery obstacles like fire snakes that'll get in your way. There's also plenty of ramps and splitting paths scattered around. However, my favorite detail is that the track falls apart with each lap. This is an awesome gimmick that I hope Nintendo uses more in the future. 11. Waluigi Stadium. Out of all the tracks Nintendo could have brought back from Double Dash, this was arguably their best choice. Being able to trick off all the bumps, giant ramps, and added half pipes, combined with the obstacles already there like the fireballs and piranha plants, make this track even more energetic than it already was. The whole motocross stadium feeling is nailed perfectly, and I wouldn't want it any other way. 10. Wario's Gold Mine. I'd expect nothing less than our money-hogging friend to have a gold mine, but who knew it would make for such an awesome racetrack? Having to maneuver your way around the minecarts is really fun. I like this secret path with dash panels near the end, and the music is infectiously good. For a track that's admittingly pretty short, they managed to cram in so much cool stuff that it's hard not to love it. 9. Moonview Highway. Never ever drive like this in real life, but feel free to do so on this track because it's an absolute blast. The narrow streets combined with the giant cars makes racing so intense. I love how the second half has a bunch of dash panels and the cars speed up a little bit, and I haven't even brought up the fact that there are literal bombs driving along with us. This is the kind of craziness I want from a Mario Kart Wii track, and this course definitely delivers. 8. Toad's Factory. That's right. Toad, one of the most generic characters in the entire Mario franchise, managed to give us one of the best tracks in the game. So many things you'd find in a real factory are here. Giant stampers trying to squish you, conveyor belts that'll speed you up or slow you down, and the final section is a small construction zone with bulldozers hanging around. I'm still shocked this track hasn't gotten an HD remake in a modern Mario Kart game when it truly deserves it. 7. DK Mountain, one of the best Mario Kart tracks of all time, and it works perfectly in Mario Kart Wii. You get shot up by this barrel cannon to the top of the volcano, and it's just non-stop zaniness from there. There's a few ramps you can trick off, giant boulders rolling around trying to crush you, and of course, there's the infamous rickety bridge, the perfect spot to put down an item. However, as great as this course is, it's not the best DK track in the game. 6. DK Summit. Imagine DK Mountain, but several times cooler. Just like before, you get shot to the top by a barrel cannon, but the journey back down is much more hectic. The small bumps, half pipes, and huge ramps are so much fun to trick off. These large pits of death add a lot of tension to the race, but the best part is easily the snowboarding section, where you've got some shy guys embracing their extreme sports side. As a kid, I absolutely despise this track, but now it's one of my go-to tracks whenever I pop this game in. 5. Bowser's Castle. The Wii version of Bowser Castle takes everything you think you know about Bowser Castles and flips it on its head. Right from the beginning, you jump into Bowser's mouth and make your way through this wavy hallway, then you shoot into this enormous room with half pipes, fireballs, and a giant Bowser statue shooting flaming balls of metal at you, and the final part has lava geysers bursting from the ground that you can trick off. Words cannot describe how amazing this track is, and it's one of, if not, the best Bowser Castle in the whole series. 4. Rainbow Road. Sweet mother of Christ. To this day, I have never come across a track as difficult as this one. The road twists and turns however the hell it feels like. There's tons of dash panels, ramps, half pipes, and the star cannon which make the race even faster, and there's barely any guardrails to keep you on track. So if you haven't mastered the game yet, this course will punish you for it. The thing is, though, all of this difficulty is exactly what makes it so fun. It's the perfect final challenge for Mario Kart Wii, and it's so satisfying to race on. 3. Maple Treeway. Fall is one of the most beautiful times of the year, so seeing a track themed around it is amazing. All the racers are shrunk down and drive on some huge maple trees. The visuals are gorgeous, especially for Wii standards, and the music fits perfectly with the more peaceful tone. The track also features lots of cool stuff, like leaf piles that may give you a random item, giant wigglers that stomp all over the place, and you gotta love this wavy bridge that lets you get a bunch of tricks in. I love how pleasant this track is, and it's easy to see why it's beloved by many. 2. Coconut Mall. What do you want me to say? It's frickin' Coconut Mall. It may just be the most creative idea for a racetrack yet, and it's ridiculously fun as well. You get to travel up and down escalators and shortcut through a few stores. You've got huge plazas with a few things to trick off, and you end things off in a parking lot with idiots who don't know how to drive. And that music, man, it captures the entire experience perfectly, and it helps contribute to one of the most frantic racetracks of all time. 1. Koopa Cape. Some people may disagree, but to me, this track is absolutely perfect and continues to be my favorite track of all time. The rushing water that constantly speeds you up, the long underwater tube with more rushing water and electric rods that can shrink you, and just everything about this course, from the visuals to the music to the design, meshes together to make a simple race pure magic, and that's why it is the best racetrack in Mario Kart Wii. But now, it's time for some real fun in battle mode. While Mario Kart Wii doesn't have the greatest battle mode of all time, the map selection is excellent, and I can't wait to get into them. 10. Cookie Land. I somewhat enjoyed this track in Double Dash, but here, it's painfully obvious how cramped it is. It's impossible to use any kind of strategy with the amount of items flying around and racers rubbing up against each other. 9. GBA Battle Course 3. There's a few L-shaped obstacles, a patch of dirt in the middle, and that's about it. There's nothing really bad about this map, it's just incredibly basic. 8. Thwomp Desert. This map is fine, and the thwomp making the ground all wavy does make things more interesting, but many times it slows the action down, which can kind of suck. Though can I say, the music for this battle map is surprisingly awesome. 7. SNES Battle Course 4. I actually like this map for how simple it is. The multiple splitting paths provide a lot of strategy on how to outmaneuver your opponents. 6. Chain Chomp Wheel. I love how the map is constantly rotating, and the massive Chain Chomp is a nice obstacle without being too much of a pain. 5. Twilight House. There's tons of different rooms you can drive through, and the whole haunted house aesthetic looks really cool, but be careful when you go outside, as there are no guardrails to keep you on the map. 4. Skyscraper. This map has one main area in the middle and an outer ring, both of which are fun to drive around. You can also trick off the small gaps between the two, which means you don't have to worry about falling down as much. 3. Block Plaza. Not quite at the same level of greatness as Block Fort, but still really solid. There's 2 levels to drive on, there's multiple splitting paths, and the statues of the Mario characters will disappear at the 1 minute mark, opening up some spots to fall down. 2. Delfino Pier. I love how there's a bunch of areas to drive around, and the water level will slowly rise as time goes by, which makes battling even more chaotic. 1. Funky Stadium. Funky Kong may not have gotten his own racetrack, but we have the next best thing. From the huge jump at the beginning to the sheer number of ramps and half-pipes scattered around, this map is non-stop action, and it is a blast to battle on. Mario Kart Wii will always be special to me. It's not perfect, but it is so unbelievably fun, and I will never stop playing it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then make sure to give it a like, and let me know down in the comments what your favorite track from this game is. Also, subscribe to my channel with notifications on, so you'll know when I post more videos like this. Have a great day, stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next one.